Mr. Barnes will be discussing the 8 properties that are set to open this year. You heard that right, 8 properties under the Ascott Limited will be opening up this year. New property developments will also be discussed, as well as newly acquired properties and other exciting news. We are eager to hear what he has to share about the future of the Ascott Limited in the Philippines. Ladies and gents, please help me welcome with a warm round of applause, Mr. Philip Barnes.
Officially, good afternoon. I get the fun part of talking about our growth. Marketing are all nervous. Like Susan, I also go off script. So marketing is standing there all stressing to make sure I am on talk of what they need to know. Anyways, first and foremost, I just want to thank you all for being here today. It's great, again, to have a mingle with Ascott. We did it last year. But now we get to kind of highlight a little bit more about the company. And you heard about our brand 360. You heard about our sustainability components. The takeaway you can get from that is that we are still a growing and evolving company. Traditionally, a lot of you have known Ascott Limited as predominantly a service residence, predominantly known for its long stay component. I'm here to share with you that the evolution of the Ascott Limited continues. We are no longer known just as a service residence. We are actually known as a lodging company. And why are we known as a lodging company? Because not only are we producing service residences, but we are now entering the hotel and resort space in the world, and especially in the Philippines. So we have 7 brands in service residence, and we have 7 more to launch, hotel and resorts, across the Philippines as well. So I'll talk a little bit more about our growth, but as was said, yes, we do have 8 properties to open this year. Now, all the reports that you hear about tourism and hospitality in terms of number of keys that are opening in the country, you'll hear figures like 5,000, 4,500, 3,500 rooms that are opening in the Philippines nationwide. Here's one fact that is guaranteed for you. 1,300 rooms this year are coming from the Ascott Limited alone. 1,300 new rooms are coming from this company. And that's only in 2023. In 2024, we slightly reduce our efforts in terms of opening from 8 potentially to 6 that are coming through. So as you can see, I don't know if I'm blocking, but I move around, so you'll have to bear with me. It's much easier to kind of engage with the audience. So we have 10 operating properties currently in the Philippines. 8 that will open this year, starting June all the way down to December. We then have another 16 more, I'm trying to do my math. 18 plus 6, so 8. 8 to come in terms of 2024 and 2025. I'm also here to share with you that the Ascott Limited acquired Oakwood. You all remember the Oakwood brand that used to be here in the Philippines? Was the Oakwood in Makati and the Oakwood in Ortigas. Because of our growth, Oakwood were no longer here. So what should we do? We should go and buy it and bring it back. So I'm very happy to share that we will be bringing the Oakwood brand back, and we do have an Oakwood property that is going to be opening in the Philippines in the next 3+ years in Manila. On top of that, I can't tell you where, I can't tell you the brand, I can tell you when. 2025 end of is where the Ascott Limited will have its first ever 5-star resort in the Philippines. So we're very excited. When we announce that, you'll all be the first to know on that aspect, but that is another element of our growth that we continue to do. So I'm here to talk about 2023 and our growth of 2023. So, effectively, it's called Mingle with Ascott. We have our residence managers, our general managers are all here today to mingle with. So what I'll do is I'll identify them so you can find them to get more information of that property rather than me standing here and telling you all about the room inventory and what they have to offer, because we'll be here for an hour. So, the first property that we are due to open with is going to take us to Makati. Citadines Benavides, Makati. Myra Bass is in the room. Please stand, Myra. If you are looking for the pre-opening champion and more information, Myra Bass is the one to see. The property is our first with a rooftop pool, about 32 stories high, with a great view of Manila. It is also our second property in Legazpi Village, so we're going to make Cecil Teodoro, who looks after Somerset Millennium, work a bit harder, and Lawrence Diego, the RM of Somerset Millennium, to work a bit harder to sustain their business because we're bringing there a comp set for them. So that's Citadines Benavides. Then we're going to go drive down Rojas Boulevard and turn into Malate, and we're going to open Life Malate Manila and the Suites Malate. And the person in charge of that is the lovely Joyce Agsoa. If you could stand up, she's right there. Right, you can get music for you, Joyce. See? Oh, there you go. So it is actually, off the top of my head, around 350 combined rooms in that property. It's a massive property. And it's one building, 3 different elements that are attached. It will also be our first Life property co-living brand in the Philippines. Life, for stands for Live Your Freedom. So it'll be the first one, and we're uber excited to open this property in Malate, where it's all about community, connecting people, and engagement. So that's a really exciting property. Then after that, if I am not mistaken, we are going to go to Naia and take a flight over, and we're going to fly over to Cebu. Is that correct on the slide? Yeah, I am. I'm right. Yes, there we go. So we're going to fly over to Cebu, and we're going to open our second Life property in Cebu City, in Baseline, which is right where our Citadines is as well. And if you want a lot more information about this awesome property, which I will share with you, has a slide that you slide down to check in to. So be sure that when you check in this property, you have to go down to the slide. But you have to sign a waiver, okay, just in case. Yeah? So the residence manager of this is none other than our Citadines Cebu City residence manager, the very muscular Mr. Argel Mula, if you can stand over here. So if you have any information about that, this is our Life in Cebu, and we're excited again to launch it into Cebu. Again, with Live Your Freedom Life, it's about connectivity, engagement, social engagement with our guests, right? Bringing everybody to the property. Now, I'm going to test my component here. If I'm not mistaken, after which we're going to get back on the plane, and we're going to fly back to Manila, and we're going to open into the biggest city in the metro, Citadines Roses, Quezon City. Is that correct? Am I right? Look at that, there we go. So far. So this one, we are finally going to be in QC. We have been wanting to be in QC for the longest time. The QC deserves an international service residence, and it's going to get it this year in Q3. In terms of this property here, the person you want to speak to, none other than our pre-opening extraordinaire, Miss Myra Bass. In fact, we wanted to give her all the properties, but she said no. Anyways, she picked these 2. I think strategically she lives between the 2 properties, so it makes sense on that aspect. But again, this property is a beautiful property. You can actually see the beacon signage is already up and lit, means we're coming. And we're ready to make a big splash to Quezon City because it deserves it. And we hope we can do a few more in that region as well. Okay, now we're going to get back on a plane. And we're going to fly over to a brand new city. We didn't create our own city. It's a brand new city that we're going to be in. It's actually in Bacolod. We're going to open, is that right? Yes, here we go. I tell you, I can't get the last 2 wrong, right? Really bad. Bacolod is a 200-room property with a 650 to 700 pack ballroom, pillarless, 1,000 square meters. It's a mice-based property. I heard that, from mice. Yes, got it. Yes, for mice, built for mice. The other element you should know as an evolving company is that we do internal F&B. So here in Ascott BGC and Citadines Bay City Manila, so many names, Citadines Bay City Manila does internal F&B. And the reason why we do that is because, again, we're going to hotel resorts where we have to do that. It's part of our evolution. Citadines Bacolod will also be internal F&B. 2 restaurants, 2 bars, 1 coffee shop, plus the huge ballroom and function room. So I'm getting whispers. Ross says, oh yeah, sorry, Ross says is also internal F&B. Sorry, I stand corrected. Myra is shooting glaring eyes at me. That will also have a function room as well, but it's not as big as Citadines Bacolod. And the reason why we chose Bacolod is, for those of you who don't know, in terms of visitors coming in to the region of Visayas now, actually it is now Cebu, Bacolod, Iloilo. It used to be Cebu, Iloilo, and then Bacolod. Now Bacolod has a big ramp up. The reason why we chose to do F&B in Bacolod is because they are very passionate about their F&B and their culinary aspects. Iloilo as well is the same. So we have decided that this is going to be the flagship property in terms of the Visayas region to be our F&B component here. So we're very excited for this one. We're very excited to bring everybody over to Bacolod because it's a beautiful, beautiful property. Okay, then we're going to get back on a... Sorry? Oh, yeah, sorry. Who oversees it? You may be asking, which nobody asked. In the back of the room there, having a conversation, very well dressed up, is the general manager of Ascott Makati, Somerset Millennium. That is the one to see for Citadines Bacolod City. Now we go back on a plane, and we come back to Manila. And we drive up EDSA and we arrive in Makati. And we open Somerset Valero Makati. 176 rooms of service apartment in the heart of Salcedo. Valero, right? 182 Valero, Somerset Valero Makati rooms coming through. Everybody's like talking to me. Anybody know how distracting that is when people start talking to you and shouting things? Somerset Valero Makati opening. And we love Salcedo Makati because we got 3 of them. So we thought, why not add another one? Why not? Because the business and the vibrancy of Salcedo is amazing. Everybody wants to reside there as well, and we think that's a perfect mix for us to have this here as well. This will not be internal F&B, predominantly because it is big size, very generous size units, studios and 1 bedrooms. Actually quite one of the biggest in our Salcedo region. So we're excited for this one in Q3. If you're looking for Somerset Valero's pre-opening champion here, none other than Susan Salcedo, who is delegating it to Myra Bass. Okay, now the 8th property that we will open this year will be right at the end of the year. So don't make plans for your New Year's Eve celebration, because the New Year's Eve celebration of Ascot is going to happen in this property. In December, we are getting back on a plane in Naiya. I tell you, we're making so many Philippine airline points with our flight travels now. We're going back to Cebu, and we're going to open Somerset Gorodo Cebu. That's going to open 157 rooms. It is actually built like the Flatiron Building in New York. If you can go now, you'll see that the glass wall curtain is starting to be built up. It is going to be a monument in Cebu, and we're very excited that we're going to be launching this property. The pre-opening manager for this property is also sitting in the back, Miss Joyce Agsoahe. See, you don't get music this time because it's not live. You see, there you go. Oh, they put it back on. So in regards to this opening here in Cebu, that will take us now to 3 properties in Cebu. We will then open a 4th the following year. But the other properties that we open in 2024 and 2025 will take us to Davao, Green Hills, back to Makati, Malate, and I think that's about the ones that are open, and in Pasay, and Laguna. Those are the next locations that are all opening through. I won't go through that, but we can definitely share more information. So again, the takeaway for me is, yes, it is a lot of work that we are putting into opening 8 properties. Straight after a pandemic, why are we doing that? The reason is because we predominantly believe in what the Philippines has to offer. Not only in talent, because if you can see from our management committee, 99% of our talent here are all from the Philippines. I'm the one they're all trying to get rid of. But that is predominantly shows you how much wealth of talent we have here, and we still work towards that. In terms of the young population, the need to travel, the domestic travel, the sights to see, The beauty that we kind of bring out in our properties is personalization and the love for cities that you see for cities, but also community. In regards to all these developments, we're looking at additional 400 to 600 jobs coming through that we employed under these properties. We're looking at a revenue transition turnaround of just under 4 billion in terms of these properties opening up and ramping through. And we're excited to continue our growth, not just in the service resident platform, but also in the hotels and resorts. We truly believe that there is a place to grow for us in the Philippines. The potential of the Philippines is ginormous, and we want to be part of it. And not only because we're just there as a brand, but because we want to celebrate Filipino hospitality, the community, the culture, everything that Philippines brings. Because this country is a great country in terms of tourism, and something that we want to be a part of and recognize. So I appreciate all your time today. Enjoy our meatless lunch, as Susan has highlighted. We all had to make pledges, by the way, as management, in terms of sustainability, what we had to give up in terms of doing our part for the environment. I won't tell you what everybody's is, but you can please feel free to ask them, and then challenge them. Ask them to prove it. But again, as the Ascott Limited, we think about things that we do, right? We don't want to come out here and just simply make all the nice fluff and say, this is what we're doing this. We care about what we do. So we think about it, we make sure that we can sustain it, not only in terms of execution, but sustain it as a young company continuing to grow. Yes, we need to disrupt the market in the hotel and resorts, and we will do that, but we will grow accordingly. And we're super excited for what the future brings. So thank you all for being here today. It's lovely to have you all here. I hope my presentation got a lot of information. You know who to look for in terms of questions for the properties. Please do mingle with us, chat with us. We're very easy to talk to, and we love having you here. Thank you very much. Thank you.